So as most of you probably know already, I PB'd a 4053. See that right there, right there. I PB'd a 4053 on yesterday. Go me! I'm so cool. And a couple days before that, I had PB'd with a 4059, and I did commentary for that because I'd like to do commentary for milestone runs. Sorry, my brain is not working today, so this is probably not going to go that well, but we're going to try anyway. People just really liked my comments. So I wanted to do one for this run too, but I don't know. I just felt kind of weird. Like there's more to do, right? So like I don't want to overdo the PB commentary thing. But then I thought, okay, well maybe I'll do a comparison with me versus Behemoth, right? Come on, finger. Good. Anyway, and 5.5 years old. Yeah. Because my 4053 bopped him on the leaderboard, which is really cool because it's the first time I've ever beaten Behemoth in any percent at all ever. So that was cool, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do a comparison and do commentary on that. And then I remembered Zoast's first sub 41 was also a 4056, just like Behemoth's first sub 41. And it was also a world record by like frames, right? And I was like, so, I mean, I guess I'll just do a comparison against both of those. And then I was like, well, wait a second. Oats had a bunch of sub 41s, like back to back to back. And one of his sub 41s was also a 4053, just like mine. Isn't that cool? So, yeah. Okay, now I can point at stuff. And it won't be weird. Okay, cool. Back on track here. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so I decided that I'd do a 4-way comparison here. And there's a couple of reasons that I want to do this. So one, like I already said, I want to talk about my run, obviously, because I'm so self-centered. I love talking about myself all the time. You guys know that. The other thing is Behemoth's run and Zoast's run. Can I just tell you guys how freaking stupid it is that they got these times in 2019 and 2020? Can I tell you how stupid that is? These runs are absolutely bonkers for the time period. Like, just insanely good. Yo, Cosmic, what's up, dude? Thank you. There's more to do for sure. But it's yeah, it's good. I'm feeling good about it. So thank you. I appreciate that. I'm bonkers for the time period. What are you talking about, Scotty? Anyway, and also it's kind of cool comparing runs from now to runs from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, because There are a lot of strats that have like changed in one way or another that you might not realize until you go back and like look at that kind of thing, right? So anyway, wow, that is so rude, but actually my psychiatrist is a woman. So I know you're lying. See Scotty W. Anyway, okay. I don't have anywhere good on screen to put the chat, so whenever I talk to you guys, there's not going to be any visual representation of that on the screen, and I apologize about that. But we're going to start this, and this might just be as straightforward as pushing play. Get off my lap, Nia. You suck at sitting on my lap. What, sassy? This might be as straightforward as just pushing play and talking about it as it plays, but it also might, like, this might be kind of long. I don't know. I might pause and like point at stuff and talk about stuff and give my thoughts on stuff. So this might end up being kind of long, and I'm sorry if it is, but yeah. So we're gonna push play here. The other thing is, so the audio is from my run right here. Okay. And it is game audio only, so we're not going to be like battling me talking over myself or anything like that. That being said, why is there a double mouse cursor? There shouldn't be a double mouse. That is really freaking weird. And now that I saw it, I can't unsee it. I'm going to just pretend like I didn't see that. What the? That is so weird. Okay. Anyway, this is too professional. Shut up. Shut up, Sarah. I don't remember what I was saying anymore. Doesn't matter. We're just going to go. It's going to be great. If I need to adjust the game audio up or down, let me know. Okay, so first of all, yeah, obviously my series is way better than everybody else's because I'm so good at series, dude. I have the world's record in series. Look at how much farther ahead I am than everybody else. I'm so good, dude. I'm awesome. I'm so good and awesome. What was my time on this? It was a 47. It was pretty good. Mid 46s from Oats and Zoast, and a mid 45 from Behe. Definitely solid. Behe should have reset. No, resetting a 45 is so painful. Really don't want to do that. This series proves a 39 is possible for Zeni. Yeah, sub 40 when? Sub 40, dude. I just need to start going for BT skip. You gotta do BT skip to get a sub 40. I read that on the internet, so I know it's true. So yeah, we land on the planet ZBBBBBBBBB. Game audio up, or is it good, or like where are we at, guys? I need to know. Yeah, so Zoast's capture, the colors on his capture are a little bit different, and that's because of his RGB mod on his SNES is older, so the colors are a little different. And I think also this was on his old capture card before he had an OSSC. I'm like 99% sure that that's the case. So the colors are going to be a little bit different between, you know, each run. And Behe, I think, is capturing over S video. It might even, I'm pretty sure it's S video. It might be composite. I'm not sure. It does look pretty blurry. I don't know what's going on. And then Oats capture is about as crisp as they come. He was using a RetroTink 5X at the time. And then my capture is obviously my current setup, which is through a RetroTink 4K. But mine has some scanline filters on it. So it looks nice most of the time, but there are some instances where it looks a little funny, like during power bombs or the background when you're at the ship and stuff like that. And it's just kind of a trade-off. I like the aesthetic for most of the run, so I'm okay with the small portions where it looks kind of weird. Okay, so, all right, I messed up there and fell. So Zoast and I are about tied here now, which is cool. There isn't really a whole lot to talk about yet. You know, this is pretty standard early game stuff. Behe doing his ledge grab climb, the rest of us doing wall jumps. The thing that you're probably going to notice about Behemoth's run, I should pause to talk about this. Behemoth is very consistency focused. And what that means is that generally he goes a little slower than a lot of other people. But the thing is, he makes up for the slowness by how freaking consistent he is with his strats. So, especially in that context, like racing him is terrifying because like he's so consistent. It's crazy. So, I mean, during a lot of this run, like you'll probably see him doing some slower stuff. Also because it's, 5.5 years ago. But just remember, like, he was the first one to get a sub 41, and there's a reason. So, I'm going to push play here. All right, so it looks like, I don't know, I gained a little time on Zoast there. Probably faster climb / parlor. I don't know for sure. But, pretty solid BT times from everybody. This was a 438. So based on that, this is probably like a 441 or a 442 or something. So these are all really good BT times, bombs times. Good drops for me. Good drops for Zoast. Good drops for Oats, ? I didn't see Behe's fight. Nia, my cat, just is insisting that I give her attention right now. What is BT skip? The door doesn't close until after you get bombs. So it's theoretically possible to get out before the door closes, but it's basically TAS only. So one of the thing about my runs the past week, roughly, maybe a little longer than that, my early games have been really strong, and they've been consistently strong. Normally, I will have like a good early game for a day, and then for a few days I'll have like a mediocre early game. But this past week or so, it's been pretty consistently strong early game, like the whole freaking time. So, I didn't say that you need BT skip for world record. I said you might need BT skip for sub 40, but I was still memeing and joking about that. But yeah. Okay, so right here, this drop is really important. So I got a missile drop from this waiver. This part of the run is where I'm going to start speaking to my mindset about things, because it's going to be different than the mindset of all three of these other runs. And the reason for that is because I main one-round Fantoons. I go for a one-round Fantoon every single time that it's possibly possible. Okay. And without getting into the weeds about that too much, a one-round Fantoon isn't theoretically that much faster than a two-round. A one-round fast in any percent, the way that it works is you have to wait for Fantoon to go off screen and then come back on screen. And as he's coming on screen, you do your missile Dopplers. that period of time where you wait for Phantoon to go off screen is you're waiting. It's technically a time loss. You don't have to do that in a category where you have enough missiles, like in 100% or in KPDR if you do 2010. You don't technically have to wait for Phantoon to go off screen. You can just do it immediately. You can just go for the one round pretty much immediately. But in this route, you're not going to have enough missiles after the Phantoon opener, and so you have to wait for Phantoon to go off screen and then come back on screen. And a one round fast, where you wait for him to go off screen, compared to a fast 2 round, there's only like a 1 or 2 second difference or something like that. If both of the fasts in the 2 round are on screen rounds. Okay. So the one round Phantoon isn't really theoretically that much faster, but what it does is it prevents you from relying on good RNG in the second round. If you can get the one round, you know, if you can get the one round kill, you're mitigating against that RNG. So you're not really looking at the total theoretical time save as much as you're looking at the probability. Okay. The probability for a fast is 6%. The probability for a fast on the first round is 25%. So your chances of getting a good pattern go way up, because also a one round mid is still very, very good. It's a couple seconds slower than a fast, I think. And a mid pattern on the first round is also 25%. So basically you're looking at like a 50% chance that you get a good pattern for a one round compared to 2 round kills. Okay. So why are we talking about Phantoon so much already when we're only, 5 minutes into the run, 6 minutes into the run? So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, the decisions that I make starting at this part of the run and the mindset that I have starting at this part of the run is different than the rest of these runners. And that's because I am trying to get a one round. They are all counting on getting a 2 round, hopefully a fast or a fast mid. Okay. So the first thing that I specifically look for is there's a waiver that I killed right here. Okay. And I really want a missile from that waiver. And I got a missile from that waiver. So that's good, right? That's good. So now we continue. So grab the super. Quick drop. Whee. Zoast also got a missile. Oats got a missile. Behe got... looks like he just skipped the drop where he got a nothing. So. All right. For a while, I was entering this room without jumping to conserve energy and increase the likelihood of a missile drop. I ended up stopping that. We're going to go back here. So you see I jumped through this door, and then we do a KO through this enemy, which it's 10 damage right here. Okay. And then we want to kill this Rayo to get its drop. So we lay a bomb here, and then we lay more bombs back and forth, more bombs, woo. Okay. And then I am hoping for a missile here, but if I get an energy drop, that's okay too. It's whatever. So we got a missile. Okay. All right. And then we're going to keep going. I do go for the weave here, but I miss it, so I bonk. So that's like a 40 frame loss compared to getting the weave. Most other runners do a down back or a moonfall right there. So chances are they all gain time on me slightly right there. And then here we're going to go for up in 2, which I also fail. That's great. Free time saves. Okay, not free, but okay. Next mindset change thing. So this next room is called Green Hills or Green Hill Zone. It's a Sonic reference. For a long time, the main strat in this room has been to jump and then mock ball, okay? And I'm pretty sure that is what I'm going to be doing here, but I'm going to explain anyway. So we jump, okay? And then, oh, I didn't. Okay. So instead of mock balling, what I actually did here is I wait until I am past this ledge, okay? And then I shoot to break spin. Then I wait until I land, and then you'll see me angle down right here. So that's an arm pump, okay? I'm angling down, and we're running forward, and I'm holding a charge shot. And we continue doing that, and then I release this charge shot, okay? And what that does, if you do it correctly, it will fly forward, and it will hit this hopper, who will then drop big energy most of the time. I was like 1 frame off there, so it didn't drop anything, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. And then you shoot this second shot here, which kills this hopper. And if you're full on energy, then it will drop a missile every single time. If you're not full on energy, then you're probably going to get an energy drop, okay? I do that strat because it's about 20 frames slower, but it is really good resource pickups, okay? So if I were entering Green Hills with 5 missiles and 99 energy, I could get 2 missile drops from those hoppers, which would put me at 9 out of 10 missiles. If I enter with 7 missiles, then I can get a big energy and then a missile drop to put me at 9 out of 10 missiles. I'm not sure why I decided to go for the farm since I already had 9 missiles. I think I just wasn't really thinking about it too hard. This still isn't bad. This is going to mean that we're full on energy leaving here, which is a good thing. But again, the reason that I'm doing this is because I am prioritizing my ability to go for a 1 round at Fantoon. So what you're going to see from the rest of the runners, more than likely, is, like I said, you're going to see some sort of a mock ball strat. And that's fine. It's about 20 frames faster. So there's Zoast with his mock, Behe with his mock, Oats with his mock. So they're going to save about 20 frames on me right there. But again, I'm prioritizing having the missiles for Fantoon. All right, here we have Red Tower. So we're going up the Red Tower. I do not go for Ripper Skipper. I'm not quite that sweaty yet. We probably will be soon. Okay, so this is actually a good opportunity to talk about something. So if you look at Zoast here, he goes for the immediate fast jump as well, and so does Oats. Okay, so the 3 of us all go for some variation of the faster Red Tower strat. But what does Behe do? So let's look at what Behemoth does here. Remember what I said about consistency before. He kept missing the shot. Like it wasn't breaking the thing at the top. So he instead waits, he charges a shot, and then he goes. That is slower, right? But he was having trouble with the faster version of the strat at Red Tower, and so he decided, okay, I'm losing a bunch of good paces to this stupid strat that is bugging me, so I'm going to sacrifice a second or whatever it is, and I'm going to do this slower charge shot strat so that I can get past this stupid room on more runs and get more runs farther. It's a cool mindset thing to see. So I also do not go for the super weave here. I do a variation of the weave, which Zoast did not do. Oats did. Looks like Oats and Behe synced up there for some reason. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, Oats had a little trouble going up Red Tower. Okay. And then he almost got stuck in that Vile Plume there. That was scary. What is Ripper Skipper? Ripper Skipper is where... Oops. I went a little too far back, sorry. Ripper Skipper is where you go up so fast that instead of waiting, so I'll show you, I'll point it out right here. See how I wait right there and then I go up past that Ripper? Instead of waiting, you just go straight up, straight past the Ripper. So you just go way up past this guy. And it saves like 30 or 40 frames. It's very difficult. It's not impossible, and it is definitely, you can be consistent at it. But I am currently not consistent enough to be willing to risk a good pace for it. But I am working on it pretty much every day, trying to get to a point where I'm going to main it. So. Okay. Coming back here, Yo Kano, thank you for the tier 1 80 months. That is a long time, dude. 80 freaking months, man. That's crazy. Thank you so much, dude. Hope you're doing good. Okay, so from here, we're going to go up. Keep going up, lay the power bomb. You'll see some slightly different strats here. I skipped one of the supers. Some people opt to farm both of them. I think Behe farms. Yeah, Behe farms both supers. Looks like Zoast and Oats. Yeah. So the three of us. Okay. No, this is perfect. 4 supers. 4 supers. 4 supers. 5 supers. So Behemoth, again, is slowing down to get an extra super because it's going to be more consistent. Like, it's just so cool to see. Like, there's so many little things like that in his run. All right. So here we are coming up on Moat. The famous or infamous Moat. CWJ attempt. Horizontal bomb jump, CWJ attempt. See what's up. Okay, so Zoast and I both get CWJ. Oats goes for the HBJ. Behe gets the CWJ. We all make it across. Good stuff. Zook, thank you for the tier 1 5 months. I really appreciate that. Okay, I didn't talk about this in series, but this is a good chance to talk about this. So if you look at my arm pumps here, they're really fast. That's because of Zoden pumping. And for those who are unaware of what that is, you have a controller, right? You have your R button right here. Pressing the R button with your finger like this is hard to be fast. And even if you alternate both buttons, that is also hard to be fast. So what we do is we take our fingers, right? Most people use 3 fingers. Some people use 2 fingers. Drewski uses 4 fingers. And we run them back and forth across the button. Okay? And it presses it rapidly. Doing that in this room right here saves me an average of 8 to 12 frames. Okay? Zoden pumping, as they call it, is a relatively new tech. You know, people started doing it the last, I don't know, 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. Oats still doesn't do it, but Oats is also insanely good at arm pumping. So it won't save him a whole lot of time in this room compared to me. But it wasn't even around for these other 2 runs. So you're going to see me doing the Zoden pumps. You're going to see them pumping Zoast pumps in both directions. Behe does not have an angle down button. That's something that I forgot to mention. 8 to 12 frames over average regular arm pumps. So my average room time for that room, if I do normal arm pumps, is like a 3-second, 12 frames room. And I usually get a 259, a 3 flat, or a 301 if I use the Zoden pumps there. Behemoth doesn't have an angle down button. Okay, his L button is mapped to something else. I think it's item select or item deselect or something like that. So he can only ever pump with angle up. So he can't do both directions. So if you see him pumping at all, it's going to be in just one direction. Yep, so you just see him doing that. And then there's Oats with his pumps as well. And then we're going to come down here. We're going to go to Fantoon. Something that you'll probably notice Oats do that I don't think the rest of us do is a faster... he's very aggressive with the end of this part of the room. So over here we have Zoast. So there's this ledge right here, okay? And what most people do is they will run down and they'll run off the ledge, and then they'll aim down and shoot, and then they'll do a down back to get down into this little spot. Oats instead jumps early, which does save him some time, but I suck at that strat, so I don't go for that. So if you look at Oats here, I think he does. Yeah, so he jumps early and he gets down, and anyway, it's a little faster. It's also really hard. All right, so here we have Fantoon. So I spent all of that time trying to make sure that I was getting missiles. 13 missiles is really good here. Generally, that's the most you're going to have. Sometimes you'll have 14. I get a fast, and I'm like, oh, can we one round? And then I see Fantoon didn't drop me any missiles. Because he's a freaking jerk, man. So when Fantoon opens his eye, there's all these flames that come out, okay? And you want to shoot at the right time so you can destroy, kill, break, whatever, the majority of the flames. And each flame has a chance of dropping an item, right? You can get missiles or you can get energy. Or you can get super missiles, but that's very rare. Fantoon decided, okay, he has a really good missile count, so I'm not going to drop him any missiles, okay? So he dropped nothing but energy for me. So I see that, and I immediately know, okay, I can't one round. Like, no matter how much I want to, it's literally impossible for me to one round here. So what I opt to do instead is a faster on-screen first round. So I turn around here, I deselect my missiles, I shoot this flame out of the way, and then I do a stutter Doppler to the left with my remaining missiles. Okay, and we got 5, I think. And now basically I'm just praying for a mid or a fast. If I get a fast here, I'm going to have to let him go off screen because I don't have enough missiles to finish. If I get a mid, then I can do an on screen. So either pattern is going to be really good, about the same. I think there's like a second or two difference between those. So he starts on the right side, so I know it's probably not going to be a fast. So I'm, hoping, waiting for the mid. We get the mid, and I finish the fight right there. Okay. That was also a stutter Doppler. Let's look at, let's see. So Zoast is going to get a mid. Behe is getting a mid. Oats is getting a slow. Zoast is getting a slow. So mid slow, mid fast for Behe, I think. And what was that? Slow fast for Oats? Slow. Slow fast. Slow fast off screen. Okay. And then let me look at Behe again. Sorry. Behe gets a fast. Okay. Mid slow. Slow. Fast. Mid fast. Right? I don't know. Anyway, the point is they were all 2 rounds. I think I had the best 2 round out of everybody's patterns here. But yeah, Fantoon is he's a toughie. He's a jerk. A lot of people think that he is the worst part of the run. That's not really true. Um, but he is probably the biggest RNG swing, because the difference between a 1-round fast and a slow is about 25 seconds. I think it's about 25 seconds. Because the difference between a fast and a slow, depending on how you handle it, is like 20 plus seconds, right? So it is a big RNG swing. But I mean, thankfully in this route, in this category, he's only 10 minutes into the run. And so probably the worst part about Fantoon is how grindy it can start feeling. Like if you do runs all day and you get to Fantoon 6 times and you get nothing but slows, that sucks. Like it just that's really, really demotivating. On the flip side, sometimes you do runs all day and you get fasts or mids or, you know, like that kind of stuff most of the day. And that can be really invigorating, because it feels like, oh, I could PB, like if I just play good, I can PB anytime I want. But, you know, I mean, that's not really how it goes. But yeah, so it's, you know, it's always kind of a relief when you get past Fantoon, even if the pattern wasn't super great. If your pace is good enough to continue, that's kind of like, okay, well, at least we have a run, right? So, okay, so at this point, I'm trying to remember what I was thinking here. I have really good resources. That's another thing that we need to talk about. When you finish a Fantoon fight, you need him to drop you enough missiles, enough supers, enough power bombs, and enough energy. And if he scams you on any one of those things, you're gonna lose time. Sometimes, depending on what it is, it can be a lot worse than other times. My PB previous to this one lost a bunch of time right after wrecked ship. So I saw that I had good resources here, and I was like, okay, if I can have a clean ship, and then I really focus on the next segment going to wave beam, I could have a really, really good pace on my hands here. Even though it wasn't a 1 round, this could still be a really, really good pace. So I decided to, you know, like focus in. I wasn't super nervous, but I really focused in. I closed chat and all that stuff. So here we go. So first of all, you may have seen that I did a little jump collecting this super. During the fanfare, when you jump to collect the super, you want to push right, so backwards on the D-pad, prior to collection. And even though Samus continues facing left a lot of the time, she technically has started the turnaround. So then during the fanfare, you actually want to be holding left and shoot. And what happens there is that when the fanfare dismisses, see how Samus is still facing left? You're going to see a shot go to the right, and then Samus will turn around and we're going to deboost off this spark. See that? That's a buffered input. And it's like 20 or 30 frames faster than collecting and then turning and shooting and jumping and boosting. That kind of optimization is the kind of thing that has changed since Behemoth did his run, and maybe since Zoast did his run. So let's kind of look and see what we got here. Yeah, see, so Zoast turned around and shot the door before grabbing the pack. And I think I saw Behemoth didn't even... Behemoth's energy is pretty bad here. Okay, so this is a good opportunity to talk about that too. Oh man, this is gonna be a long review. Okay, so Behe's energy is 107 right now, and in order to survive going to gravity, you need a minimum of 121. Okay, because bowling, you're gonna take at least 2 hits from spikes, and they're 60 damage each. So if you have enough energy, you want to do a deboost off this spark because it's faster. Behemoth doesn't have enough energy, so he has to just kind of slowly go out of the room here. Okay. Oats did not jump prior to the pack. Zoast got the boost. Oats turned shot, then jumped and boost. Okay. Here is Attic. Without going into too much detail, what you want to do in Attic is go fast enough in a specific way. You have to kill all of the enemies in Attic before you can leave, because the doors are locked. So you want to go fast enough so that you can get a double hit at the end here with a super. So you want to missile this guy, and then notice that I'm pumping a lot. And then I do jumps in specific ways on this first enemy, and then I do a lower jump here again on the second. These are called atomics. So that I can jump right after this column and then fire a super when it's roughly aligned with like these 3 dots, basically, is what I'm looking at. And what that does is the super is going to hit this atomic, but it's also going to hit this key hunter here. Okay. So we essentially get a double hit with one super. And at this point in the run, we are trying to optimize super missiles as much as we can, because we really need super missiles for the Ridley fight. Okay. So I get the double hit there, and then I finish it with a regular missile. Okay. And then we leave the room. All right. So you see Behe is also going for the double. He didn't. Looks like I didn't see if he got it or not. Zoast did not. Oats also did not. Okay. I don't farm in that room because I'm bad at the farming strat and it's slower. But a lot of people do missiles to farm a bunch in that room. Yep, so you see Behe did that, Zoast did that. I bet Oats, I don't know because of his missile count here. No, he doesn't. Okay. But I suck at farming in that room, so I never do. Because it's slower and the drop rates really aren't that good either. So. Alright, so we're going to gravity. I don't remember my gravity grab time on this run. Was it a 1307 or a 1306 or 1308 or something like that? It's right around there, which is really good. That's 2 seconds faster than Drewski's current PB. Drewski has a 40:43 for those who are unaware. Very, very good time. A 0x is very, very good for a 2-round. Yeah. All right. So coming up here, so my mindset here, I see that I have 1 power bomb. This doesn't seem like it would really be that big of a deal, but at least for me, it really, really is. I do things a little bit differently entering Lower Norfair than a lot of people, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But because of that, I prioritize trying to have as many power bombs as I can at this point. If I leave Wreck Ship with 2, that's like barely enough. Okay? I left with 1, so I'm kind of short here on power bombs. And that means that I need to do a farm to get a power bomb somewhere. And the normal strat here is you jump, you shoot down here, you hold a charge, and then you do a pseudo screw, and you kill this crab, and you collect its drop. Okay? Crabs have a 40% chance powerbomb drop, I think, and 60% big energy. Those might be switched. I mean, it's a pretty good chance that you're going to get a powerbomb, but this game likes to take pretty good chances and be like, nah, I'm not going to give you that. So, okay, so 60% chance for a powerbomb. So, I mean, realistically, I can kind of count on getting a powerbomb from this crab, but there have been a lot of cases where I really needed a powerbomb from this crab, and it's like, nah, I'm gonna drop you an energy instead. And I'm like, but I needed the power bomb. So I had to decide. I was like, okay, do I farm the second crab or do I just go for it? Because there is another crab right here. Okay. I decided to just go for it, I think. And also you see this downward shot here. So this shot, it looks like it's going to hit this platform, but it's actually going to go through the side, and it's going to go down and hit a door that's down here. That's another little optimization that has happened in the last few years, just the way that we shoot that door and continue. So I killed the crab, and then you see I run off. So I'm all in at this point. Whether this ended up being a power bomb or an energy, I was all in. It was a power bomb, and I was able to collect it, and then I dropped down through the door. So that was a good room. You'll see Behemoth here. So he is going to pseudo screw, and then he goes, but you notice he did it a little bit slower. Zoast also, but Zoast did the strat differently and wasn't able to collect the drop. And then Oats also got an energy there. Okay. This next room is another... This is a whole thing. Dude, there's so much to this run. It's freaking crazy, man. So there are 2 cack attacks in this room. Cack attacks have like a 99% chance of dropping a super missile. Okay? You can farm both cacks fairly easily, but if you do farm both cacks, I think it's like a 1.5 seconds time loss compared to skipping the farms and doing a moonfall. So different runners have different preferences here. If I have 8 super missiles, I will almost always skip. If I have 7 super missiles, I will sometimes skip. If I have 6 super missiles, I will almost never skip. That's kind of my approach to this part of the run. When you go to get Speed Booster, there is a farm that you can farm a bunch of bugs next to Speed Booster. And sometimes they'll drop you like 5 supers at once. It's pretty rare, but it can happen. But sometimes you'll do 4 or 5 or 6 farms and get no supers. Because this game is just rude like that. So farming super missiles from these cack attacks is kind of like insurance against getting scammed by the speed bugs. It does cost time. You do have to slow down to farm them. But like I already mentioned, we really, really need super missiles for Ridley. So some people will just opt to farm them every time. Some people will opt to be aggressive every time and almost never farm. I do my 6, 7, 8 super thing that I explained. Okay. So I skip the farms, do the moonfall. So that's like a 1.5 seconds. Deboosts in this room really suck. Okay, here's Behe. So he tried to do a moonfall there because he had 9 supers. Zoast opted to farm both cacks, and Oats decided to skip, even though he only had 7 supers. Zoast had some trouble in that room because, you know, these deboosts suck, like I said. We're all going down. I am really comfortable in this room before Spazer. Apparently, it's hard for a lot of people. I practiced it a lot, and I don't know. I feel good about it now. But yeah, there's a couple different approaches to that room. I missed a jump there. That's not that big of a deal. Okay, right here. So this is another good thing to talk about. Okay. So you see entering this room, Samus is already aiming down here, okay? I am not actually holding angle down. What I'm doing is I'm holding down and right on the D-pad. And if you buffer that input during this door transition over here, she won't stop when you do that. And what is useful about this is it makes jumping and then morphing really quickly a lot easier. And what that does is it allows you to jump and then morph. See how Samus is already like kind of morphing up into this door. So we're morphing up against the ceiling here, okay, to activate the door transition, which means that upon entering this room, she's already pretty much in morph ball in the top left corner here, so that we can immediately lay a power bomb. Okay. Now, a lot of you are aware when you drop a power bomb in this tube room, it will break this glass. Okay. The way that works is that after Samus, I might be slightly incorrect on this, but this is the best way I know how to explain it. So that's what we're going to do. After Samus does some sort of a pose or a state change, after the powerbomb explosion has reached a certain point in the room, the glass will break. So what that means is if you lay a powerbomb and then you just stand stationary here and the powerbomb explodes, the glass isn't going to break until you move. You do a jump or you do a turn or something, okay? What that also means is that if the powerbomb explodes and Samus is already running in a certain direction, but then you don't do some sort of a shot or an arm pump or a turnaround or something, you can leave the room without the glass breaking, even if the powerbomb has reached the point that is going to trigger the break, okay? Now that point that triggers the break is up here in the top left corner. So that's why it's so good to have a power bomb laid up here, because it means that the power bomb explosion is going to reach the point in the tank that is going to crack it earlier, so that you don't have to wait around before you can leave as long. So I came up with a strat here a little while ago that I really like, where after doing the morph jump into this room, I actually yo, Mandy, thank you for the tier 3. That's a lot of freaking money. Thank you, Mandy. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. After I do the jump morph into this room, I hold left on the D-pad. Okay. And then when the room loads, I lay the power bomb as soon as I can in the top left, and then I press jump to unmorph. And since I'm holding left, Samus is already turned around, okay? So you see that she's turned around here. Then I aim down, and I wait until we're about to land, and then I turn, okay? And what that does is, anybody who's casually played this game has probably noticed that if you try to land while Samus is turning around, she won't land. She'll like kind of float for a few frames and then she lands. I'm not going to get into the weeds about that, but basically I'm delaying how long it takes for Samus to land here so that I can normalize moving through the rest of the room. Okay. So I held left, I unmorph, I aim down, I turn as I'm landing, and then I run forward, and I know that by the time I reach right here on the tube, this detonation has reached the part of the tube that it needs to make the glass break. Okay. So then I shoot, and when I shoot, you see that executes the glass breaking animation. Okay. So that is a really long-winded way to say, I found a way to save like 10 frames on average for me, because otherwise what you end up doing is you wait for the power bomb to detonate, and then you run, and then you shoot. And you can optimize that, but it's just hard. Sometimes you're going to wait too long, or even worse, you don't wait long enough, and you either shoot too early and the glass doesn't break, or you shoot too late and the shot doesn't register, so the glass doesn't break, or you shoot frame perfectly and you soft lock, which is also really bad. So yeah, so we'll just watch that in normal speed again real quick here, and then we'll see what everybody else does in that room, because this isn't all about me. It's supposed to be a comparison video, right? So So you see I do the jump morph, lay the power bomb, shoot, glass breaks, and we go. Okay. So here's Behe. So he jumped early and then morphed and then laid the power bomb here. So he has to wait before he goes. Same with Zoast. And same with Oats. Oats seems like he was pretty aggressive there, but I'm not sure. But yeah. Okay. This strat freaking sucks, but I got good at it, so it doesn't suck anymore. So, okay. See this door down here? This is a super missile door, right? You can open this door like this and then continue down here like that. That is way harder than it looks. So again, without going into the details too much, basically what we're doing here is this is a down back. So you have to hold down and then back and Samus will move forward. Super unintuitive, whatever. The thing about a down back is when you release a down back, Samus continues aiming down. Okay, so we can't just release the down back and shoot, or what will happen is Samus would shoot a super missile straight down, and we don't want that. So instead, what you can do, what I do, there's a couple different ways to do this. What I do is I tap L. See that? So I tap L to angle down, and then when you release the angle down input, she will aim straight. And then you shoot, and the super will go and hit the door. But that's not the end of it. After you do that, you then need to aim down again to do another down back. Because if you don't, VLC is totally screwing with this. If you don't, you're going to bonk this platform right here. Okay? So that's pretty hard to do, but it's cool because it doesn't technically save time on the way down, but it saves time on the way back, which is cool. So I'll talk about that here. First, we got to grab this energy tank, and then we're going to get the drop from this Nova. Sometimes you can skip this Nova. I really, I should have waited one more frame and gotten that super, but oh well. See, Oats illustrating what I was talking about here. So he tries to do the strat, but he messes it up because it's freaking hard. Okay. So he down backs not quite far enough. He bonks. Bonk. And then he's like, okay, well, I got to shoot the door anyway. And then he bonks again down here. Because this strat is hard, dude. It's just hard. So, okay. So we have high jump. I kind of messed that up. So I decided to farm this Nova here as a result of that. We get a missile from it. All right. Now, the reason opening that super missile door early was important is it makes this strat much easier. Okay. So obviously you can open blue doors with a regular beam. Green doors you have to open with a super. Since that green door was opened with a super, it is now a blue door, which means that we don't have to worry about switching to super missiles while we're doing all the other inputs in this room to open that door. Okay. There's two different ways to approach this room. You can go up the left side, which is what I do, or you can go up the right side, which is what I believe Behemoth and I think Zoast does. I don't remember Oats doing either one right now, so we'll have to see what he does when he gets there. These are roughly the same speed. If you can optimize left side, it's technically slightly faster, but it really just depends. But this door is a pain in the butt to open with a super if you're coming from the left. It's really not bad at all if you're coming from the right, but it sucks if you're coming from the left. So that's kind of why it's so nice to have it open already, because I don't have to worry about the super missile part. I can just go. This is another really little optimization here that I picked up in the past, I don't know, 3 weeks probably. I actually took this from Ruya. If you're not following Ruya, my cat is being weird. If you're not following Ruya, Ruya-Rin, then you definitely should. He's top tier runner for sure. He has a 4102 right now, unless he PB'd and I missed it. But he is super, super good at this game. And so see this slope here? So again, without getting into the weeds too much, one of the things in this game that you can optimize or choose not to optimize is in-game time versus real time. In-game time does not count up during item fanfares, door transitions, lag frames, or some other edge cases. Okay. This slope, see how this door is in the middle of the screen, roughly? As Samus runs up this slope, the screen is going to scroll. Okay? Yeah, pause. In-game time doesn't count up during pauses. Pause menus, I should say. So when Samus runs up this slope, the room is going to scroll vertically, which is going to misalign the door. Okay? And what that means is if you just run through here, you're going to save in-game time, but you're going to lose real time because the door has to scroll to the middle of the screen before it can move across. So what I saw Ruya do a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, that's actually genius. He does this little hop here. Just this little teeny hop that prevents the screen scroll from getting screwed up by this slope here. And it does save real time. It saves, I don't know, like 5 or 10 frames real time or something. It's stupid. Like it's the little teeny things in this game that people do to optimize are just freaking crazy, man. So yeah, that's why I do that little hop there, is to optimize the real time. If I ever go to optimize in-game time again, I'll probably drop the little hop because it's slower in-game time. So we do a short hop mock ball to get under this gate over here. Okay. Now we're going to watch Behemoth. So he goes up the right side, like I was saying. He selects his super, and then he does kind of a higher jump there. So the reason he does such a high jump here instead of ledge grabbing here is because of the door transition. He's making sure that the door transition doesn't get screwed up. I kind of messed up that strat, not a big deal. I want to see, yeah, so Zoast also does the right side. So we're going to watch that again. So you'll see he goes up the right side, and then he does an even longer, higher jump here. Okay, so his door is like perfect, pretty much. And then, yeah, Oats is going up the left side. And again, notice that he opted to shoot the door a little bit early, which he wouldn't have been able to do if it were a super door. He tried to do a jump through the door to do a mock ball there. When I tested that versus the other strat, it's about the same, so I don't do that. But okay, so I am really struggling at this specific part in the run. I messed up the strat in the room before this, and then I bonked this door, which is really bad. Okay, so I lose time here, so that freaking sucked. And then we keep going. Mock ball under the gate. This slope in this next room freaking sucks. So depending on your position in the previous room and your run speed entering this room, and by position I mean like the literal pixel and also sub-pixel value, depending on your position and your run speed and all that stuff, sometimes you'll just trip off of this slope and sometimes you won't. And it's really annoying. Thankfully I didn't trip. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that, Drewski, but that's a good point. All right, and then Coming up, so we're going to have Bubble Mountain. I do a very unpopular thing here. I do left side Bubble Mountain. I have practiced right side Bubble Mountain. It is definitely faster optimally. And I feel like I've gotten pretty consistent at it. But when you mess it up, you lose a lot of time. And the other thing is, I like the drops, the extra drops that I get consistently from doing left side. And additionally, energy is a big factor here for the speed bug farm. Notice that I have 82. That's fine. Like that's good, honestly. But if you can enter speed with 99 with full energy, any drops that would have been energy from the speed bugs will instead be missiles. And realistically, missiles can save a lot of time on Ridley. And even if you don't use all of your missiles on Ridley, not worrying about whether you should consider doing extra farms to make sure that you're full or have enough missiles is really nice. So anyway, I do left side. We got a super from that waiver, so that's really nice. We get a super from the CAC, and then we got a big energy from that waiver. Okay, so I'm full here. So when you're full, you want to prioritize not taking damage in that room is called Batcave right here. So you'll notice I did something a little bit slow-ish here. That is partially because I can't do the faster version of this strat with my button configuration and my grip. And the other reason is I'm really confident and pretty good at the uppercut strat, but if you miss uppercut, you take damage from one of these screes. And when you take damage, you're no longer full, and then you have to consider, the farm thing that I was just talking about. So we're at 99. I decide to play it safe here. So I do an auto deselect on this missile. What that means is I'm holding item cancel, and then I select the missile, and then I stop, and then I shoot that missile at this scree, and then I utilize the shorter cooldown provided by the missile to shoot a second shot to break this block right here, which is where we need to jump up. And I avoid all the particle damage, and I get out of the room with full energy. You also probably noticed, right, as I go up through the ceiling, I don't do like a tight ledge grab. I kind of jump up higher here. That fixes this door. That's why we do that. Here is the Zoden pumping. Zoden pumping in this room saves me personally about 30 frames. Okay. Behe does a mock ball here. Zoast does arm pumps, and Oats does arm pumps. All right. Now, so here's the thing. Notice that I have 5 missiles and 5 supers. Okay. Like I said, we need as many supers as we can get for Ridley. But the thing is, you also don't want to farm here more than you need to, because every farm is an extra, I think, second and a half. And that adds up really quick. So if you can get away with 2 farms or even less, almost never, but if you can get away with 2 farms or less in this next room, you want to do that. I will almost never do more than 4 farms, and I will also almost never do more than 3 farms. So just keep that in mind coming into this next room. Behemoth does the mock ball because mock ball is faster than normal run speed. Arm pumping is faster than mock balling, but Behemoth also only has the one shoulder button to arm pump with. And honestly, I mean, it takes effort. And he didn't have Zoden pumping, so. Okay. We jump through this door to fix the door transition. And then I hold angle down. And then I release angle down, the angle down button, to stop Samus's momentum. but notice that she's still angling down. And then you fire a missile from this position, and it's going to hit the invisible bugs. They are there, but they're invisible to start. And it's going to kill all 5 of them. You can also jump. You can hold jump and go up and over to the left and time an aim down missile. That will sometimes not kill all the bugs, and it's really annoying. So here's a really nice thing. I know almost absolutely, it's not literally 100%, but it's almost 100%. 2 farms is going to get me full on missiles here. If we do 1 farm and we get nothing but missiles from these guys, because remember, they can't drop me energy, we'll end up with 14. Okay? Two farms, hopefully I'm going to get some supers and some missiles, and we'll have good resources leaving. So I'm committed to 2 farms here, so I do the first. We get 6 missiles and, what was that, 2 supers, which is really good. And then I preemptively shoot this so that I can get ready to go. I do 1 more farm. We're full on missiles. We have 8 supers. This is what you want. You want 8 supers leaving this room. Okay, thank you, Sassy. I haven't done the math myself, but I talked to Oats about it a while ago, and I trust his information on this. Basically, if you leave this room with 8, the average number of super missile drops you're going to get in Lower Norfair is going to put you at 10 when you get to the Ridley door. 10 is full. You can't have more than 10. So sometimes you're going to get scammed. That's going to happen anyway. But there's really, like, leaving this room with 10 isn't really going to benefit you that much, is more or less what it comes down to. So, so we leave with 8. And then you're going to see some farms over here. I think that was 2 from Zoast. 3 from Behemoth? I'm not sure. He has 7 here. Okay, now everybody's gonna cry. Sorry, everybody. You're gonna cry. You're just gonna have to deal with it. I grabbed these missiles. We're not gonna talk about that too much. The short version is skipping these missiles saves about 5 seconds in this room. Best case scenario, you save the 5 seconds. Worst case scenario, you save 0 seconds. The details on that are missiles can save you time on Ridley. Sometimes they do save you time on Ridley on average, and they can save you time and do save you time at least some of the time on Mother Brain as well. And also having the extra missiles makes it so that you're more likely to not get scammed in Turian. Okay, the end. Also doing this is faster in game time. Drewski is mad in chat because my run, 4053, bopped his run, 4043, in game time. So he's crying. He's crying over there. Well. Okay. So Zoast jumps over the missiles. Behemoth jumps over the missiles. Oats jumps over the missiles. Okay. So they all save roughly 5 seconds on me right there. Okay. We can just call those sanity missiles. Yeah, that works. Hey, Desi, what's up, dude? Okay, here's another thing that I do differently. And it is technically a little slower, but it's not that much slower. And I really like it for a couple of other reasons. So I pause right here. Okay. And I switch my beams. And then we continue through the round. Yes, this will be going on YouTube later. Notice that now Zoast and Behemoth are like gaining on me. Okay. The reason I paused is this room almost entirely this room. I also like the pause in that other room just because it's comfy. It's easier to time the pause in a way that I'm not worried about in that room than it is in the other place that you can do it. Having just wave beam here means that you can kill these orbs in one shot. If you have ice beam, it takes 2 shots. Or you have to use a missile. Missiles save you time on Ridley. And you need missiles leaving Ridley. Because if you have 0 leaving Ridley, you're going to probably end up in a bad spot at Kraid. And everything that we kill in Lower Norfair has frickin' garbage missile drop rates. It is extremely common to get no missiles from any of the enemies that we kill in Lower Norfair. So you really cannot count on getting missiles back from here until you get to Ridley. Ridley will often drop you missiles with his boss drops, but then also you can't really count on getting missiles during Lower Norfair Escape either. So I decided that I wanted to start saving those missiles. So I started looking at different strats in this room on how I could use less missiles. And I finally realized, I was like, what if I just switch my beams earlier? I don't think I can't do the fastest version of this strat in this run because I only have 2 power bombs. So we have to farm an extra power bomb from one of these orbs because I do the X Factor Ridley strat, which we'll get into next. But basically, if you have 3 or more power bombs, you can do a really fast strat in this room that pretty much makes up the time that you would save pausing in the other spot. You're not going to see that in this run because I wasn't able to do it. So I end up, shooting them and farming and then, going kind of slow. And now Zoast is basically right behind me because, I went slower than he did. But he used missiles, so he's at 12 missiles. He had 15, I think. 14 or 15. Now he's at 12. I'm still full. Behe is also full because Behe doesn't do the X Factor Ridley strat. He does a beam fight, okay? And then Oats is sitting here at 6 missiles, which is that's really concerning to me. We do the lava sparks. Zoast and I both got lava spark. Behe also gets lava spark. Oats got lava spark. Okay, and then you notice, so Zoast paused going down the elevator. And I want you to pay close attention here. So Zoast starts his pause. Okay, you see the screen is fading a little bit. And then he activates the elevator going down. Okay. Then he switches his beams. And then notice that as the screen is fading in, Samus reaches the bottom here and then stops and the screen starts fading again. But look at what happens to Behemoth. Behemoth has to go all the way off screen and then his screen starts fading. So optimally, you actually do want to pause when activating an elevator, a downward elevator, because it saves, I think it's 40 frames or something like that, real time. But I pause earlier for the reasons that I mentioned. And Behemoth doesn't pause at all because he doesn't do the X Factor Ridley strat. So here we have Oats also doing the pause pre-elevator. And then, yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Zoast's having a little trouble in this room. This room is so awful to screw up. Oh my gosh. That's horrible. Fast pillars here. I'm not going to talk about that setup. Behe opts for the more consistent non-top shelf version. Zoast did top shelf. Saved a little time. Oats, I think, got top shelf. Worst room in the game. Okay. So, short version of explaining this room. You want to lay the power bomb. If you look at Zoast's screen down here. Oh, wait, no. Let's look at Oats' screen. Okay. You want to lay this power bomb as high as possible because you don't want it to activate this pirate. It's totally screwed up. Sorry. We'll just do this again. You don't want it to activate this pirate. If this pirate takes damage from the power bomb, then it enters a global state, which causes additional lag. It's like an entire second of extra lag. So you want the power bomb to be higher. That'll save some lag. I got the less lag version. I'm not sure about these two. Behe got more lag. Zoast got less lag. Oats, I think, got less lag. Yep. Okay. Now we're going up here. This is actually really cool to me that I've been ahead the whole time so far. I didn't think it was going to go that way. I'm carried by my early games, dude! I thought I had left that part of my Super Metroid career behind, but it hasn't changed. I am carried by my early games. Okay. We do a Shine Spark to kill these two key hunters down here because it reduces lag. So you see Oats doing that strat right here. The echoes go down and they kill the two key hunters. This strat here is pretty cool. So you want to time your bomb at a specific time here. And then time your second bomb at a specific time. And if you do that correctly, this guy will always jump high. So you can run right under him and then jump. And then do a short hop, mock ball, lay your power bomb, go down through the statue. Okay. Here's another thing. So I have opted to start doing a really aggressive clip here that I don't think anybody else does. It's a little faster, but you also take extra damage doing it. And I messed it up here, which means that I actually lost time, but that's okay. We're going to see Zoast, spike hit, clip, spike hit, clip. Same with Behe. And same with Oats. Okay. And then also, I jump up to the ceiling to do these Shine Sparks. Mainly for consistency, but also for a slight conservation of energy. Okay. You'll probably see Oats or Zoast doing floor sparks. Yep. So we'll just go back here for a second. So Zoast sparks from the floor. It is faster, it costs more energy. And same with Oats. Okay. Now, notice I have 9 supers. That's good, but I wish I had 10 here. But I decided to be aggressive and go. Oats came up with a farming strat in this room during his grind that I really like, where you can farm bugs from these pipes and then collect the drops from below. It's really nifty. They drop supers a lot of the time. So if you get scammed by metal pirates, you might get bailed out by the bugs, but I decided not to go for it because it's a little slower. All right, Zoast is full, Behe's full, Oats is full, and I'm full because the bugs bailed me out. And then I am also entering Ridley full. Okay. The Ridley fight. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining this because it could take literal hours. The short version is we want 4 X factors followed by enough damage from missiles and beam shots to do 18,000 damage on Ridley. I have scienced the heck out of this. The fastest and most consistent Ridley fight is going to be 4 X factors with 18 missiles, 10 supers, and 18 Spazer Wave ice shots. Did I say that right? Ice Wave Spazer, I think, is what most people usually say. You can also get a very fast, like pretty much just as fast fight with just 15 missiles, but it's going to be less consistent. The other thing is to do the X Factor strat, you have to pause to switch your beams, which is slower. The pause itself is slower real time. But it's definitely faster in-game time. And in my opinion, I think completely optimally, it's probably faster than a completely beam fight. But I've also seen some really, really fast beam fights. But I also think they're harder to be consistent with. Because Ridley's a jerk face, and the longer you're fighting Ridley, the more opportunities he has to be a jerk face. Parg in chat just said Ridley is an unpredictable jerk. That is a really good way to put it. I kind of alluded to this earlier. A lot of people think that Fantoon is the worst part of this run. A lot of people think that Fantoon is the worst boss in this game. He's not. It's Ridley. Ridley's a freaking jerk. Ridley kills so many runs. And not every time, but a lot of the time, he kills a run and you feel like it was not your fault. Like, you're just like, well, that's just Ridley being Ridley. So we're going to look at the X factors here. So we do 1. I start with as many missiles as I can, usually about 10. There's the second X factor. Third X, but Ridley is a freaking unpredictable jerk, and before the third X Factor connects with him, he bonked the wall and flew away. What a jerk. Okay. Behe is doing just a beam fight. Here's Oats starting his X Factor, and here's Zoast with his X Factors as well. Okay. Zoast is doing his third X. He gets the third X. Here's his fourth X. He gets the fourth X. Okay. Because Ridley was an unpredictable jerk, I am just trying to make up as much time as I can. I already took a bunch of damage. Things are not looking good for me. This has been a really, really rough fight for me. Okay. I'm not going to comment too much on the other fights because it's too hard to keep track of everything all at once. What I can tell you is, by this point, I knew already that I was losing a lot of time. Okay. Okay, that is still a pretty solid fight considering what happened, but notice Zoast and I are pretty much neck and neck now. He's a little bit ahead of me. Oats is just barely behind me. To sum it up, this Ridley fight, I think it was a 74-second room. Okay? My best Ridley fight time ever is in a run. Excuse me. My best Ridley fight time in a run is a 62-second room. So that's 12 seconds. Average, I would say I get somewhere between a 67 and a 69. So I would say minimum, I lost 5 seconds here. But ideally, I lost a lot more than that. So yeah. This is probably the weakest part of my run, if I'm being completely honest, is the frickin' Ridley fight. So best time for Ridley in 100%, 26 5x room or something like that. Okay. So now we need to do Lower Norfair Escape. This room frickin' sucks. But it's been going better for me recently. Zoast got kind of scammed by the Deskiga there. That'll happen depending on how you advance through the room. I've mostly figured out how to avoid that, thankfully. But yeah. This room also. So these key hunters here. These guys. The short version is they move around globally, even off screen. They continue moving. And the way that they move is determined by their position relative to Samus's current position. So you want to move through this room from the door, from the first door through the whole room. You want to move in a very specific way so that they will be out of the way, because you really don't want to take damage from these guys. They do 50 damage a pop. Notice Zoast has 128, so he can take 2 hits. I have 55, so I can take 1 hit at most, but this is uncomfortable for me. So I was able to get by that guy, and then I was able to get through those guys, so that's good. So I'm feeling a little better now. Okay. This room is also annoying. It has an annoying slope that sometimes you'll trip off of. And then we have 3 musketeers here. It looks like I took the lead again, somehow. I'm at 49, so I know if I take a hit, I'm dead. So that's not cool. So I do the safe strat here, and we're able to get over the 3 musketeers, and we make it out alive, thankfully. Behemoth did a more aggressive strat, so he saved a little time there. But this is suddenly a much closer race than it has been, which is cool. All right, I screw up Bubble Mountain in a big way. This is another one of my big time saves. So notice Zoast is already out of the room and I'm still struggling. Oats and I are about neck and neck now, but he's slightly behind. That was a really bad Bubble Mountain for me. There's a couple different ways you can approach this room. We're not really going to get into that. You can technically skip farms on the way up here to save some time. You're almost never in a position where it's worth it, though. This next strat here is really cool, but also really annoying. You want to break this bottom block with a super and then mock through it. There's a couple different ways that you can do that. The fastest way is to do a very short hop shot, angled down mock ball thing. I don't remember if I get it here. I did. So that's cool. I optimized that a little while ago after watching, I think it was Drewski. And I was like, wow, that was really fast. So I figured it out. But yeah, now, okay, so we have Zoast entering Kraid. You need missiles here because you need to kill Mini Kraid, and also you need missiles for the optimal Kraid quick kill. Behe only having 2 here is really rough. I want a minimum of 5 when I am entering this room, and he only has 2, so that's rough. You can technically kill Mini Kraid with a super, okay? But I find it really hard to do the strat leaving this room if you do that. I find 2 missiles much more comfy. You want to kill Mini Kraid and then jump through this door without bonking. I did bonk because I suck. So now Oats is going to gain. Yep, so he's ahead of me now. So that's a thing. I don't think Behe skipped Ridley drops, no. I think he just got scammed. Alright, and then you saw us shooting wave beam down into the floor. That reduces lag because there's a thing that floats around down there that you can kill. Okay, so Zoast resources are looking really good. Oats resources, his supers are low. Behe's resources are looking better. His supers are a little low. My resources are looking really good. At this point in the run, you want to be full on supers after you kill Mini Kraid. Right here. So Zoast is going to use missiles, and then Mini Kraid almost always drops 4 supers. Every once in a while, he'll do 3 supers and a big energy, but if you have 6, you're pretty much good. So you want full supers after killing Mini Kraid, and then you also want a handful, like a good, healthy handful of regular missiles that you can use on Botwoon and or Dragon. And additionally, you want to have power bombs as well, because you need power bombs to get through Meridia. So, full on supers, 8 supers, full on supers, 9 supers. This room is hard to optimize. I don't remember. Yeah, so I'm going to bonk the wall here, I think. Yep. So you want to mock there, but I kind of messed that up. And then I messed this up. Man, this segment freaking sucks, man. I'm bad. Okay. This strat's pretty cool. You want to normalize your run speed coming through here so you can get a good jump up here. That was a little slow, but it was fine. Man, this is really close. This is cool. You want to do a last frame jump into this room so that you can get up here quickly. Oats missed that, so I gained a little bit on him. I didn't see what happened with Behe there. Sassy. Oh, hey, Yuri, what's up, dude? Okay. So notice that we all do kind of this weird drop the power bomb, roll right, wiggle left, roll back right thing here. What we are doing is we are manipulating the snails that are off screen so that they will move in a certain way to reduce lag. That's why people do that way. All right, now we have Batoon, everybody's favorite water snake. So you open Batoon with an X Factor, you're going to see a couple different strats here. Zoast enters, jumps on the wall, goes left, lands in a specific spot, and the X Factors come out. That is called the decalled or D Factor. I hated it for a long time. I still don't really like it, but a lot of people find it much easier than other strats, so, you know, good for them. Oats also does the D Factor. Okay. Notice that Behemoth, we're going to go back a little bit, sorry. We're going to look at Behemoth and then we'll look at my strat here. Behemoth does this interesting thing where he jumps and then he fires a shot and then he jumps again. And it works for him, so good for him. The thing about doing the X Factor on the left side is you're not in a good position to use missiles ever, pretty much, which is bad. Because sometimes you need to use missiles on Batoon. So if you look, what I do is I'm holding shoot right here. It comes out. That's you do the same thing for the D Factor setup. But I don't go all the way to the wall. I stop right around here. I want Samus's left foot to be kind of over this white line, roughly. Okay. So I moonwalk back into position. And then after the X Factor comes out, you want to morph. You don't want to morph too fast. You also don't want to morph too slow. And then you can either unmorph and run left, or you can roll left and then unmorph. And what that will do is it will put the particles in the right position where they hit Batoon coming out of the hole. He'll come out of this hole every single time the fight starts. And then from there, depending on what pattern he does, you want to use 6 supers or the equivalent of 6 supers. So that would be like 5 supers and 3 missiles, or 4 supers and 6 missiles, or 3 supers and 9 missiles. You'll also see some people do a double X Factor strat here. I personally don't like that. I would much rather just use the 9 missiles because I'm bad at the double X, and also it's slower, and also I don't always have enough power bombs. But that is a thing that you can do. I don't think I used any missiles here. I kind of just like panicked. I just panicked and I used all supers. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh no, what if he doesn't drop me any supers? And then he dropped me 3 supers. So I was like, okay, we're okay. But he has a habit of not dropping supers or not dropping enough supers, which is why using missiles there is a really good thing. Okay. So I got another super there, which is really nice. So now I'm at 15 and 6, which is really comfy. Oats has 13 and 8. Zoast has 10 and 7. Those are also extremely comfy amounts. And even Behemoth's 13 and 5 is really like we're all in really good spots here. I'm not going to get into the Dragon fight too much, but you're going to see Behemoth's Rain Dance, X Factor, which is more laggy. You're going to see, I think Zoast is probably doing the old X Factor strat here. Oats is going to be doing Behemoth's Rain Dance, I think. Yep, so Zoast is doing the old X Factor. And then I do a newer version of Rain Dance that is a tweaked version of Zoast's new strat, which is a tweaked version of someone else's strat that I can never remember how to pronounce their name. I apologize, person. I'm sorry. But basically, it's much more consistent than what Zoast does here, and it's only very slightly more laggy. So you'll see Zoast set up in his way, and you see me set up in my way, and you see Behe and Oats set up in their way. Basically, we want to do a specific amount of damage to Dragon so that we can then finish the fight and not take too much damage to our energy so that we can then Shine Spark back across Coliseum. I go for a spike suit. Zoast and Oats both did blue suits, I think. Yep. And Behe had a spike suit. Okay. The Dragon pattern also matters a lot in terms of time. So I think I got a more favorable pattern, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But man, this is really close. This is cool. This is so cool. What a cool comparison. All right. You want to farm this Metroid. You want to hope for a super. I got energy. That's fine too. Zoast has 5 supers here. That's really good. Oats and I both have 4. That's also pretty good. Behe has 6. That's really good. But even keeping that in mind, so the reason that we want supers, we want as many supers as we can get right now. The reason for that is because of Turian. When you leave the last Metroid room in Turian, you need to have, in my case, I need at least 9 supers. In the case of the other 3 runners, they have to be full on ammo. They have to have 10 supers and 15 missiles, or they can't finish without a refill. Okay. But even if you enter Turian with 8 or 9 or 10 supers, sometimes you still just get scammed. That happened to me like a week ago. I entered Turian with like 8 supers, and I left with like 6. It's ridiculous. This game is stupid. Stupid game. Okay. Ooh, nice sync there. That was cool. Nice sync there. So let's see. Zoast skips the farm here, so that's a good comparison there for how long that takes. And this is the part of the run where you start to overthink everything. And it gets really hard. So notice Oats kind of flubbed there. I have messed up this next room more times than I care to admit. You want to do a jump ball and then blue through those blocks. Looks like we all got it. Nice. Okay. And then you really want whatever you want from these pirates, the game is going to give you the other thing. So if you want energy, it's going to give you missiles. If you want missiles, it's going to give you energy. It's just how it is. It's stupid. And then we have G4. So this is the part of the run where you continue overthinking literally everything. But yeah, this has been cool. I'm gonna skip ahead just a little bit here. Okay, so Moonfall down here, really it only saves a couple of frames optimally. I think that's why Behe didn't bother with it. And then again, you see the pause strat where we pause to switch beams on the way down the elevator to save time. All right. These rooms are, I mean, fairly straightforward. Basically, you want to group the Metroids as much as you can to get supers as much as you can. I kind of screwed that up a little bit. I decided to missile them. Ended up with 6 supers, which is pretty comfortable leaving room 1. Still had 6 leaving room 2. That's not great, but it's not bad. Decided to missile this guy because of that. Still at 6. Now I'm at 10, so I'm like, okay, so I can do the fast strat here. I lost some time in these rooms because I, was trying to play conservatively to make sure that I got the ammo that I needed, but ultimately it's still pretty clean rooms for me. On the right side here, you're gonna see the old baby skip. On the left side, you're gonna see Stachio skip. I think mine is gonna be the fastest one, but we'll see. So here's Stachio skip. I do the bomb spread. The bombs push the baby downward here. And then I go for the 3 jump. Here's Oats. Did he also go for the 3 jump? He did! He went for the 3 jump! Go Oats, dude. Alright, and then... so here are the older versions of the baby skip. So Zoast did a jump ball thing here, which was a little bit faster, but really hard for me. Behe went with the more tried and true consistent method, which you would expect. Lost a little time there. So, Stachio skip was fall 2022. All right, and then this is so ridiculous. Okay, so first of all, I mess up Zeb skip here. Okay, mess up, lose some time. Okay, that sucks. Whatever. Look at these frickin' turrets, dude. Look at this. Turret. Turret, turret. I'm like, what the? So then, like, there's Rinka's, like, anyway, it's just stupid. So I lost more time there. Like, it's so dumb. Anyway, I have a super that I can use here to hopefully save a little time. I think I end up missing some shots, though. 1, super, 3, 4, 5. You need 60 shots total. What does that do? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2. Another undershot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2. I'm trying really hard not to get tilted at this part of the fight because I already missed 2 shots, right? 8, 9, 40, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Mother Brain steps forward. This is key, okay? You see Mother Brain step forward at this part of the fight, and you know that you have a really good chance of saving some time. Catch-up beam starts coming out on shot 46. If Mother Brain is in the forward position, okay, and she fires a catch-up beam while stepping backwards from the forward position, she'll end up in a different position, which results in a faster cutscene. So see how her claw is on the outside of the wall, where for Oats and for Zoast and for Behemoth, her claw is kind of poking into the wall a little bit. So that means that I got good cutscene. Ironically, good cutscene is bad cutscene in any run with stand-up, but any percent doesn't have stand-up, so we like good cutscene in any percent. So that saves me about 4 seconds on the cutscene. So we got ketchups coming out. Unfortunately, I don't get the greatest pattern with ketchups, but I don't really get a bad pattern. But because I missed those shots, we ended up with a pretty average Mother Brain fight. Pretty average. Okay. The rest of this is all scripted from here. So we just wait for the baby. Baby comes and drains the Mother Brain's energy. that's some sync right there. That's crazy. That's actually okay. So let's look at this. Okay, so look at when Oats, she starts charging that beam way before she starts charging it for me. Okay, I'm gonna show that Zook. So as of right now, Oats is technically ahead of me. But notice how Mother Brain turned blue. Now she turned blue for me. She screeches on Oats' screen. She screeches on my screen. And then her head takes forever before she sits down. But then she sits down really fast for me. So let's do that one more time. Blue. Blue. Screech. Head slowly moves back. Screech. Sit, sit. It's kind of. Basically, her head has to move into a certain position before she sits down, and good cutscene makes it get into that position faster. It's kind of RNG, kind of not. It's just related to Mother Brain's position when she fires ketchup. Which, I mean, technically how she ends up in that position is RNG, but like there's ways that you can manipulate it, but they end up being slower, blah, blah, blah. So. All right, I think I missed a couple of hyper beam shots here. Because her hand sticks out and blocks it. Yeah, so there was 1, 2. All right, so I'm still ahead of Oats, surprisingly. I kind of flubbed that part of the escape a little bit. Still doing pretty good overall. And then I'm feeling pretty good right here. I'm like, okay, I just got to be careful in Parlor because, you know, I've lost a lot of time in Parlor before. And we're good here, and then I'd fall here. And I'm just like, dude, come on, man. So now Oats and I are basically synced. And then we do different strats at the top of Parlor. He gets out before I do. But I get better steam, and then he finishes right before me. And then it's pretty much the same on this side. Like, anyway. It's just crazy, man. The little tiny things that go into making the difference in this game is just, it's so nutso. Anyway. For a lot of people who've watched this, it's probably more than you bargained for. Tunneling Geek, thank you so much for the tier 3. That's a lot of money, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed doing this this comparison and the commentary on it. I have mandatory ads running in 2.5 minutes. I have snoozed them 3 times. I cannot snooze them again. It won't let me. So I'm sorry about that. But also, I think I'm too tired to continue from here. So thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching this with me. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all of you, chilling with me tonight. I'm gonna go. And I gotta be by my kids. So, and my wife loves me and misses me. So yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with my wife, and I'm gonna put my kids to bed and stuff. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I feel really good about my PB. I am not done with any percent. I am definitely going to be continuing. World record is not my goal. I'm not saying I won't get it. I'm just saying that's not. I know Oats was like, we will continue, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. And then he just went until he got world record. That's not my plan. If world record doesn't move, I might get it. If it does move, I might get it, or I might not get it. Like, it's just, I don't know. But I am going to be continuing any percent from here. I had some big mistakes in this PB, and I am looking forward to continuing to grind and optimizing and getting better and better and, getting a cool run. So Drewski Bop is not the real goal. I already did that. Parg. My in-game time is faster than his. Duh. Gosh. Okay. Ads are going to start in 45 seconds, so I'm going to bounce. Twitch, I'll find you guys a raid, and YouTube, I'll probably see you guys all tomorrow. Okay, bye. See ya.